How you doing, Vidit? It's good to see you. What's up, Mac? What's up, Mark? Good to see you guys. Raj, good to have you here. Thanks for coming, guys. It's good to see y'all. Going to be going over some new updates today. Some support updates. Going to be cool. Got some new versions out of some of the SDKs too. Really excited to share about some of that. So we'll probably wait 2 or 3 more minutes. Hope everyone's doing well. Finally got a lot of snow here today, so that's exciting. What's up, Mason? What's up, Arndom? Good to see you. What's up, Vishal? I think I said that right. I'm trying. All right. We're going to cut the music. I think it's time. Hello. What's up, Mason? What's up, Chavez? Hope everyone is doing fantastic on this Saturday. Welcome to the 3rd open source meetup and the first one of the year. Happy New Year to everyone that's here. It's been a crazy start to the year for us at Pieces. We've had a lot going on, but in a great and exciting way. We've got a lot of updates out for Windows users to help support them in their Pieces journey, and just continual updates across the board. A couple new features here and there, but we'll go over some more of those later. Just want to give anyone else that's here just a chance to say hey. It's a little bit smaller group today, so feel free to come up and say hello. Feel free to just drop a message in the chat. And I just want to kind of introduce everyone else that's going to be up here speaking today. If I want to kick it over to Mason, yeah, good to have everyone here. Oh, you are muted, my friend.
I'm definitely muted. Thanks, Jordan. It's awesome to have these events. And I know it's been a while, but first one of the new year is always fun. But yeah, we're growing a lot. Discord community is continually growing. And we can kind of all see activity is just growing as well. I remember just like a few months ago, just like nobody would be discussing on their own in the Discord server. Now it's like every day. So that's exactly what we want to see. And it's very exciting to have a community around it.
It is. It's super cool. It's super cool. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is here. I know I've seen some others of you on GitHub a lot. It's nice to see some familiar faces here and some new faces too. We're gonna be dropping some polls during the talk as well too, that are just gonna be kind of around any open source projects that you're working on right now. I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that's coming. So go ahead and drop those in the chat. If you guys are working on anything cool right now, we'd love to check it out as well. Super excited about any projects that are going on around in the community right now. I think we're probably good to go ahead and jump into some things. I just wanted to kind of get into some of the updates that have happened in Discord that are really present for all of you. There's been some changes to how we're doing support. We're trying to move things more into GitHub right now. So just kind of with any questions and things that you guys have, I see that a lot of people are helping each other here, and that's awesome. Keep doing that. But when things get a little bit more deep and in the weeds, we may ask that you open up an issue on GitHub or that we take it to another location to discuss this further in another forum, right? Just to give some other people visibility and to help us solve these problems as a team and as a group, not just as individuals. So it's really cool. Mason, I don't know if you want to talk any more about some of those changes, or if you want to kind of show just the quick way to where you would go to create an issue right now, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll talk briefly on kind of how we've changed the original thought for the Discord community was kind of this one-stop shop, and it worked while we were kind of growing and still small. And then as we began to see just scale through the Discord server alone, but especially just users, we realized that we needed to centralize our support, and so we have moved that to GitHub. Of course, you can also email support@pieces.app and still use Crisp the little chat box, but we've moved primarily all of our support over to GitHub, and I'll share my screen real quick. And
Yeah, that'd be great. Just to kind of show people how to quickly get up there and create an issue. And there's already some interesting discussions too that have been going on in this location, because you know how we have our own discussions inside of the open source community, but there's actually some really cool conversations that are starting to take place on the actual like main pieces support repo too, which is cool. So I encourage you guys to go check that out after Mason kind of gives you a little show and tell.
Absolutely. So yeah, we should be able to see that. And if we kind of go through here, so the what used to be called the help form is now our discussion. This is mainly for feature requests, as well as just talking about different things in pieces, and as well as some external items as well. But then, of course, we do have our open source area, which is more for obviously open source. And then if we look to kind of where we had that, I don't know if many of our view are familiar, but we had a kind of actual ticketing system in here where you could go to a channel that was called support requests and literally open a ticket, and it would be a one-on-one with one of our team members. We've removed that, and now we have simply just, I believe it's in resources. So you can see right here, support, and this will, if I click it, send us out to our GitHub support repo. And I can go here. And right now we're still kind of ironing out a few things as well, as far as kind of just, readmes and things like that. But if you have any issues at all, please make a support ticket. We have all like the labeling kind of automated for you. And so it's very simple, just new issue, bug template, get started, fill out a title, select kind of what you're having problems with. You can select multiple if you'd like. And then just as detailed as possible, because at the end of the day, that's how we're going to be able to support you better. If the more things that you can kind of tell us about your issue.
Yeah.
And
I kind of wanted to talk on this a little too, Mason. Sorry.
Yep.
I just think this is a cool way to get ideas, right? So we have a lot of these discussions going on, and I find that it's a really great place to find ideas for open source projects, for solutions to small things that you may encounter throughout your day. And in your workflow that you're trying to build or trying to understand or get through, there are some great ideas that kind of come to light through these discussions. And being in the open source community, it's great being able to have these conversations with people that aren't necessarily in that community to get more ideas and more information from other places. And that's really the goal here, right? Is to continue to collaborate. So thanks so much, Mason, for showing us the new way that support's kind of functioning and working. And I just encourage all you guys to go check it out. And just 1 second, I just want to just go over to the chat really quick. Great, saying hello everyone here. I see some people learning and looking forward to it. Vidit, I see that. That's awesome. Raj, you are not interrupting. It's great to have you here. Great to have another college student with us. And yeah, don't worry about contributing yet. We'd love to help you learn how to contribute. And there's lots of documents and other things you can find on our open source GitHub page. And we're also working on an awesome repo. I don't know if anyone's familiar with those here, but we're kind of working on this project in the back right now. It's being headed up by one of our DevRel people, Anushka, who's working on a repo that just has resources, right? For everything between open source, between just general pieces, things, anything that you would want that is pieces related, getting started would be there. So really cool stuff. So just with all that being said, great to see everyone here. Just a few quick updates we needed to get through. So now let's hop into the exciting stuff, right? So we've got all these new releases coming out, new SDKs, things kind of happening all over the place, more tools for you guys to build with. So let's just get to the familiar ones first, right? New NPM package. Sorry, not new NPM package, updates to the NPM package. It could be new because it's got Gemini in it now. So now there's support for you to actually build on top of pieces and use Gemini inside of the endpoints, which is really cool. So you can start to utilize a new local language model, and you can start to see the different ways you can interact using different models in different situations, like in these environments that you can build on your own. So it's pretty cool. And so as that starts to grow and as people start to like hit on more of these LLMs, you'll see more models get added, and that just gives you access to build on top of them inside of your own environment. which is really cool. So we're going to actually release a blog that's going to be coming later this week. And I know that you guys saw this first blog that we put out around the vanilla Copilot, right? And so the goal with that is a really easy way for you to take that vanilla Copilot project, pull it down, and get started with the Copilot in a simple form. And this next blog that's coming is going to show you how to do that with a local model, right? So currently, you can go and download the Copilot or clone the Copilot repo, download Pieces OS, and then we have a blog out right now that you can follow along with and read and see the steps, learn about the endpoints that are involved there, start to get more familiar with how to interact with the Copilot. So really love that. Go check it out. We've got that blog up on our blog at code.pieces.app. So please take a look. And I've added links to it on our open source repo as well too. So you can go there to find it. And for anyone getting started in the open source program, definitely go there to check some of those things out. Some of the other exciting stuff that we have just released for any of you Python developers out there, we've got this brand new Python package that's out that you can download off of PyPI, and you can just start building on top of Pieces now in Python. So brand new Python SDK out. It's fully up to date with all of the recent releases that are out in Pieces OS. So that's super exciting. And so go check that out if you can. There's going to be more documents and hopefully an example project soon. We've got Hal, if you've seen on GitHub anywhere, Hal 999 Alpha. He's been working on it, and he has just been grinding away on a Python CLI agent sort of example project. So soon we'll have some more information around that, some blogs, and some things that will really help shed some light on how to build in that environment as well. There's actually going to be docs that will be included inside that GitHub repo too that are starting to be generated that we're going to review over time, but we'll put those out there for the community first so that way you guys can get started a little quicker. So that should be cool. I want to see just really quick if there are any questions or anything about those two SDKs that we just kind of went through. I know it's kind of a lot of information. Just kind of want to give a second. There's a ton of conversation going on in the chat as well too. So that's awesome. Definitely. Oh, Vita, yeah, starting with open source contribution, definitely check good first issues for sure. We do have a lot of good first issues still up, and we're more than willing to kind of come alongside you and help you start to get involved in the open source community. We have a lot of tasks that we need help with that aren't necessarily super in-depth code focused tasks that could help you get warmed up in the environment. So that'll be awesome. But yeah, cool. Is there any questions or anything right now? Anyone have any comments?
No, I think we keep moving it.
Awesome. Sounds good. Cool. Well, let's keep going. So we got one other SDK. Sorry, I should have just added this in with my SDK announcement. But this is kind of a cool one that was really an interesting project, was the Kotlin SDK. So the Kotlin SDK is now up on Maven. It's up on Sonatype. So you can go to Maven Central and you can start to build this inside of basically JetBrains environments. And we've released a couple artifacts up there that have JetBrains like flavored packages, right? So that it's easy to use inside of IntelliJ. And then we also have like a base core Kotlin package, right? So there's a lot of optionality inside of there. Could you guys drop those links down in the chat for Mac right there? But yeah, we should have those links available. And then there are docs that are included on those GitHub repos as well too. So, and like always, more READMEs and more things coming soon. Always trying to get more information out to you guys. One of the things about the Kotlin SDK right now, Sonatype has been down for 2 days. So I'm just waiting for them to fix and not have a 503 when I go to their website. And then I'll be able to upload any of the stage builds that we have currently. So just be patient on the Kotlin SDK. It is very functional right now. The updates that are going in are non-breaking changes. So you should be fine if you're already starting a project there. Cool. So Kotlin SDK, huge. And then coming right after that is going to be Kuba. So Kuba is our JetBrains lead. He's been working on the JetBrains plugin for a long time. And so he is actually going to be heading up a drag and drop plugin for, well, not really a plugin. Yeah, it's a plugin, a drag and drop plugin for IntelliJ. So he's taking some of our functionality that we use to do drag and drop and adding that in so that anyone can use that same functionality and see what it's like to create like a small subset of features built inside of JetBrains so that you can start to develop your own plugins for features like hover in the sidebar in your file viewer, like that's a feature that's not necessarily built into IntelliJ by default. But we actually have that inside the plugin. So we're finding ways to kind of fit into holes that pieces can like very simply solve problems for. And that's one of the things that we want to show and encourage everyone that's trying to build on top of these is the different small problems that pieces help solve with these little plugins and micro apps that we can put in different software that we use. And so that's the goal with some of these SDK examples that you're starting to see come out, like the vanilla Copilot and other things like that. Yeah, and that's a great, right there, that share from Mac is a great start. That vanilla project is very simple, and you can see exactly how to start working with the Copilot. And keep an eye on it because there are updates coming very soon around that. Cool. So that's kind of the SDK wrap up, right? That's the whole, all of our SDKs are going to be updated like this regularly. So we'll start to have less of a broken out update, be more just like, hey, Pieces OS client is updating to version, the next one will be 1.2.3 or so on and so forth, 1.3. And we'll continue to share updates and details on what the changes are, but you'll start to see that each client is actually inheriting a lot of the same traits because they're all coming from the same base code, right? They're all being generated from this base location. So yeah, that'll be great. And we'll start to get more centralized updates out around that. Yeah. So I just wanted to get those updates out. I wanted to see, do we have any more questions around some of those SDKs or anything that is currently been shared in the chat? I'm just going to kind of look back through this. We got some good stuff being shared in here. Oh yeah, the Python client. Definitely check that out and let us know if you have any issues working with that. Yeah, we will have videos coming out soon too, which will be awesome. I know Mason's starting to work on those. Yeah, I kind of I wanted to hear from Chevet. So Chevet recently was working and came here to the US and was actually really close to us in the Cincinnati office, which was really cool, and was up at a open source conference actually speaking. So that was really awesome. There's a video that I think we can share about that, but I just wanted to invite Chevet up to kind of share a little bit of his experience at CodeMesh and if he just wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely. Is everyone able to hear me, by the way?
Sound good?
Oh, perfect. So yeah, I'll not take a lot of time, but essentially, like CodeMash is one of these really popular conferences in Ohio that have been taking place for the past like 15, 16 years. And the idea really is that it kind of brings together people from different walks of technology. So it's not really focused on just AI, ML. You'll get a lot of folks from web dev, DevOps, machine learning, cloud, embedded, and they have really a lot of strong focus on robotics as well. And they have like this separate section for kids called Kid Mash, where kids are being taught how to get started with programming. So it's really a very all-inclusive conference. It's a lot of fun. Speaking over here, I spoke about how you can do observability for machine learning. So, of course, as you know, that observability for standard softwares with Prometheus and other different tools through which you can log your requests. How do you do that specifically for machine learning? So, if anyone of you are interested, especially these days, since we have a lot of like large language models, and if you are leveraging Pieces OS as well for building your own AI application, and you want to get some kind of logging in your or observe how requests are being sent out, then I think like I'll just share this particular YouTube video, and you can take a look at this as well. But yeah, it is really nice. Speaking at this conference, and of course, got to work with the Pieces team as well over here at the Cincinnati office. So it is really good. Overall, really nice experience. And of course, if anyone of you are also interested to speak at an event, or if you're interested in like just getting started like meetups or conferences, definitely share those in the general channel or in our Pieces for Developers Discord. So we'll be more than happy to guide you. And yeah, I mean, if there are any other upcoming resources in your local communities as well, because I know that a lot of people are there from India as well or in the US. So definitely share those, and we'll be also sharing an yeah, it's all about like, networking, because networking is a really great way to learn stuff. And of course, our meetup that we're conducting right now is for all of you to also, get to know about pieces and just really collaborate with each other as well. Because it's not just like limited to pieces itself. Like we are really all about open source, and open source grows when you grow with collaboration, right? So it's all about like how you can network with other folks and collaborate with them to build really empowering projects. So
Yeah.
definitely check that out, and yep, we'll be more than happy to guide you.
Awesome. Thanks, Gervais. And yeah, that is it's a really good point there, and is a good segue into kind of some of the other things we're looking into. I do want to say, like Gervais said, if there are events that you guys are currently attending, going to, talks that you're a part of, that you just listen to, we'd love to get links to those and be a part of listening to them with you and being in those communities, because Gervais is right. Communication and collaboration are two of the pillars of open source and the way that we're going to be able to build a really strong community that's creating exciting new tools for others to use, right? And that's one of the things we're starting to look into. So one of the things I wanted to kind of just tease a little is we're starting to look into the Google Summer of Code, and starting to see what it looks like for us to potentially help mentor for some people like we've seen in the chat today that are just looking to get started in open source, and also come alongside other open source contributors that are currently working on projects now and that we'd like to talk more about, talk more to, and enhance that collaboration. So it's really cool. I know one of the other things that recently went on was the Cincy startup space. Mason had been there and was kind of involved in that community, and is starting to do some other interesting things too. I know, Mason, if you want to bring up a little bit about Jupyter Lab as well, some of that work, and kind of what we're thinking about with that community, it'd be really cool, and just kind of share about those experiences.
Yeah, sure. So essentially we have a monthly kind of meetup here in Cincinnati called Startup Cincy Demo Night. And it allows people that are building tech to demo their tech. It's no pitches involved, no slide deck. It's you get up there, you demo, and then like a short, like 3 or 4 minute question answer time afterwards. And now I'm like officially involved on the team that kind of does all the logistics in the back, as well as decides who actually is demoing. So it's been awesome to work with that group. And we met yesterday. And so we have our demoers for the February one, which will be on February 8th. And I did actually bring up live streaming this. We will not live stream the February one, but we will look into live streaming it on March, possibly as a test run, and seeing how things go. And
That's
so
awesome.
just figuring out what would be best for this event, if live streaming is the way to go or not. But and then kind of going over to Jupyter, I'm also involved in that monthly call now. So Jupyter Community Project Jupyter has a community call where we go to different sub projects in the Jupyter ecosystem, and kind of just show what people are building, what people are doing in those projects. And it's awesome. It's actually been awesome getting to talk to some of the people that are involved in Jupyter. It's an absolutely massive project, and I really do like being able to give people a platform to share what they're doing. And I think the community calls and these monthly calls just like this are exactly what that kind of gives people.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, yeah, I think I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's great, and that's the whole goal with that stuff, right? Is to help other communities be able to facilitate their calls and to bring them into our communities and help us interact with them too. I see this question here about us participating in GSOC 24. So yeah, we were actually just talking about that a little bit earlier in the call, and I think it's something we're starting to explore, right? Their application process isn't even open yet, so currently we can't even like look to see what we would have to fill out to be a part of the program. So soon we'll know more information around that, but it's something we're seriously looking at right now, and seems like it could be a good opportunity for the open source community to get involved in. As time goes on, we'll share updates around this, and we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop, because I think it could be really, really cool. I don't know if anyone has any experience with GSOC, but I think it looks like a really exciting program. I haven't been a part of it in the past, but I think it could be really cool.
I can share
Oh yeah, sure.
the
Yeah,
perspective
that'd be
of
great.
like being part of the program. So I've
Mhm.
pretty much been involved since 2019 up to 2021. But yeah, if anyone has any questions about the program, I'll be more than happy to guide you as well. I've been part of like the Jenkins org and the TensorFlow org, having
Mhm.
been contributing to a couple of projects over there. So if anyone has any questions regarding GSOC as well, uh, feel free to use the Discord, and I'll be more than happy to guide you as well. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. So that's just a little bit around some of the events and things that are going on. As we said earlier, definitely share any of the events that you're going to. We'd love to be there too. I wanted to see if there are any questions. I know there have been questions coming in the chat. Feel free to drop any in there now. There's just been some good conversation going on here. I see some JavaScript developers. I see we got, oh, things are happening too fast. I can't keep up. You guys are going to have to keep handling the chat. There's a lot going on. Oh, do we have any plans on hosting in-person events in India? That could be interesting. We could probably do something with Chevet once he's back. And I think that'd be cool to start exploring. Arindam, maybe we should all connect at some point. I mean, if you have any other thoughts about it, definitely drop it in the chat right now. If there'd be any cool locations or places that you think would be awesome. And we can start to talk about this more in the Discord with Chevet as well. And maybe we can organize one of these meetups. He can host it, and we can have you guys all be in the room together there. That'd be really fun. I think it'd be cool. So we'll figure out more around that for sure. We'll get that added to this doc. Okay, cool. I just wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit. So we're going to kind of move over into the GitHub repo. I just wanted to highlight some of the changes that have been going on. We don't need to go too deep into the code, but there are just some really cool new things that have been happening that I'm excited about. So one is from Annie Gupta. She just fixed the selection and deselection on all of the assets. So that's really cool. Now you can hit enter and escape to actually like select and deselect assets, which is nice. So it just makes it a little easier to keep your hands on your keyboard. And the other big one is Agrim just finished up the activity endpoint, like the workflow activity endpoint component. So the whole component's built now. There's a sidebar next to it. I think I have a screenshot somewhere, or actually I am going to share my screen. Here we go. Boom, go live. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to go to GitHub. Sorry guys, just one second. I just wanted to show you guys the changes that he made because it looks really good. And we're starting to see like the depth of being able to get into the actual endpoints and what you can do with them, right? So if we go down here, I need to go to the example project. Why am I having a hard, did I already just fly by it? I don't know, I can't, I thought it was on there. I guess I didn't put it in a very easy to find spot. All right, guys, I'm not doing very great here. Live demo and all. Okay, here we go. PR. Got it. Where are the screenshots at, Agrim? Did you put them on your issue? Okay. I'm backing out. I don't know where it is. I'll have to share it in the chat later, but there's a screenshot of it. We've got the full sidebar next to it now, so you can see all of your activity events that are coming in across all of your different assets that you're saving and creating. And it's really cool just showing that expansion into these other endpoints. We're going to take some of that activities code and we're going to add it onto the README so that you can start to see some of these other endpoints and how they function and the expansion into those. So that's really exciting. One of the other things too, the kind of some issues that were handled between our last meet and this one, a little bit older, but I just wanted to highlight some of these guys taking care of work. Arindam taking care of the scroll bar design. Huge upgrade. Really excited about that. Makes it look a lot cleaner. Yes, thank you, Mason. You're my hero. I knew they were somewhere. I just got them in an email, I think. But yeah, so we've got this sidebar now. We'll continue to add new style upgrades and more endpoints to this, but just really cool. Love to see somebody exploring new endpoints that we don't necessarily have specific docs around. And this is a great example of if you find an endpoint and you're like, I'm not sure what to do, open up that issue, talk about that endpoint, and we'll come in and everyone will come and contribute and give you examples. We'll give you just a conversation around how you would like to use the endpoint inside of whatever project or the example project. and we'd love to give you guidance on how you can use different parts of the endpoints. It's no problem at all. And as we create them together, then we create documentation for everyone to use, and more people can build on these endpoints. And that's how we help support others that are coming into the open source community. So it'll be great. Just a couple other things is the big CSS refactor, also by Arundam. That was a big one. So now when you're going in and adding styles, even on app.ts, we have CSS files throughout. So we can start to remove those from inline, and we can write those in these CSS files, which is just going to make everything a lot cleaner. It was a kind of a big project because building those CSS files and having them in the right location can be a pain in the React environment. So we're all very grateful for that. It's going to save everyone some time later. So you'll start to see some issues pop up around more class-based conversion on some of the app.ts pages and some of the other new components that haven't been updated yet. So keep an eye out for those if anyone wants any low-hanging fruit. Those are some easy tasks to come in and knock out. And yeah, so the other kind of new content thing that we're starting to talk about and that we did talk about before the break is the Desk Buddy project. So currently James is just working away on writing this beautiful article to help everyone kind of get started and mentally in the same space for what we're thinking in this project, right? Now, this first article is going to come out and the project already has a lot of issues created on a repo. If somebody can grab the Desk Buddy repo and drop it in the chat, that'd be great. There's a ton of issues there. There's a lot of discussion around it so far. So feel free over the weekend to go there, start getting on those issues, and feel free to leave any comments or any of your thoughts about how you see this project going in the future. And it's really just around analytics and activity with you as a developer, kind of in an invisible way. The goal is not to have a lot of UI here, but the goal is to elevate some of the data that we have like on ourselves. Like what's our most visited website of the day? Or what is the language that I use on Tuesday every day this week, but I never seem to write HTML on Thursday and I only spend time writing CSS. Why does that matter and what is the difference there? And that's what we're trying to discover and find out more about as we learn how to use this activity that we see in pieces in a new application in a new way. So you'll see a blog around that that's coming out soon. And we'll have a lot of those details, some endpoint examples, and some examples of how those endpoints could be applied in this new light. So that should be a really cool read, and I encourage people to get out there and see it. And we'll share that once it's finished up, hopefully this week for that first part one. And keep an eye out for part 2 of the Copilot example with local models. So we're going to start to show you guys how to pull those models down local and with no connection, make it easy to use Pieces OS and talk to your Copilot. So that'll be really cool. Just wanted to stop here again for a second, see if there are any more questions. Again, a lot of chat going on. Thanks for sharing the Desk Buddy project. And yeah, this is awesome. We do have some other React developers here. I think a lot of React developers kind of have been attracted to the project due to it being written in JavaScript and React. So feel free to jump in there and help us out because we aren't necessarily React pros yet. So we definitely appreciate the help. And yeah, if there are any other questions, love to hear them. If anyone has anything, Shuveh, Mason.
Yeah, and I think like with it, if you are interested in like building something similar to our example TS project or even the vanilla Copilot example, you should definitely try to also rebuild it in React because that will help you to understand how to use those specific set of APIs. Because I know like a lot of people today are trying out Vue, Angular, React, Solid, you name it, and there's a new framework that's out there. So if you're trying to build your skills in React, I think you can leverage the source code and also the blogs, right, that have been coming up on how to build the your own Copilot. So essentially, the main thing that the main difference is going to be that you are now going to be using React components instead of using like vanilla JavaScript, and you'll be using like JSX files. But the endpoints themselves will remain the same. So I think like a great way for you to get started with like React, or if you're looking to collaborate with some other folks in the community, all of you can collaborate together to build like let's say a React specific clone of the TypeScript example that we have today. So that'll be a great starting point for you to get into React community and like build a good solid project.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I'll chime in there too. Yeah, I'd absolutely love to help out with that as well. Building through different frameworks. I know that some larger projects will just have like example, like we have our example project, but then they'll do it in every framework, or at least every large framework. So maybe getting to that point, working on it would be definitely a fun challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Maybe that's something we can start to do with the Awesome repo, right? We start to have all these different like versions of using the SDKs in different environments, and then we can connect it somehow to the open source as well too, and we can find a good location to store all those example projects. So that'd be really cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, love to see you guys using the desktop app and using all of these plugins every day. That's really cool. I think you guys will start to see and be able to explore some of the endpoints and experiences better from using the app regularly. That's actually where we start when it comes to kind of coming up with ideas, right, for new ways to use endpoints. You can think of things like saving an asset or creating an asset, or like the buttons next to your asset when you're just viewing it and like you want to edit or you want to. Those in your brain can kind of serve as initial endpoints, right? You could think of those as like, this is how I could do this, or this is how I could do that. And applying that to how you could do something like classifying code inside of a snippet generator is something that would be like an application of an endpoint that's inside of the example project, but really inside of the client that you could use inside of your application somewhere. So that's kind of like the way that we're going about this, and would encourage everyone to do the same while using the app and thinking of ideas that you could potentially benefit from in other applications. So would love to see those. Awesome, Sean. I'm glad that makes sense. I've been working on trying to explain that better. Yeah, and absolutely, Mac is correct. If anyone has user stories, feedback, thoughts, conversation, anything around using the app, we'd love to hear from you. Hop on a call, talk about it more, and absolutely, like it would be fantastic. Oh, a Django app. Oh, Sophia getting spicy. Okay, that would be cool. That'd be a really cool project to explore. We could see what that'd be about. All right. Well, I wanted to see if there's any more questions for the chat right now. We're kind of at the end of the things that we wanted to share today. If anyone wants to come up and just say hello, talk about anything that they're working on, we can do that as well. But just kind of wanted to start to see where everyone's at and open it up for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, will briefly mention, I know we didn't want to discuss it too much, but just the AI commits project, just to get people thinking about it and kind of what that could look like. I know that, so I had a personal project where I essentially generated commit messages. So I was like, I don't want to have to go back and think what I changed in the Git difference, and so I just made a quick little script. You run it, and it will commit and push your code with conventional commits. And it's really nice, but obviously that connects to OpenAI, ChatGPT models, and I wanted to see if we could kind of leverage pieces for that, because I think it's kind of one of the perfect workflows, especially for a PC user. They're a developer, they commit every single day, and they already have pieces of us running. So there's no kind of, the prerequisites are already checked off. And it would be a really interesting project to see kind of how far we can push Pieces OS.
Absolutely. And starting to think about how Pieces OS can be utilized with like alongside GitHub and alongside GitHub Desktop, and using all this information that you can pull from something as simple as a code snippet or a link to a PR, right? And so starting to explore that yourself and how you use GitHub, and we'll open up a discussion around this too, Mason, on the discussion board for open source too. I meant to do that on Friday. We should open this up to start having these conversations, right? Because that's what the discussion board's for, is to hear about like how you guys are interacting with GitHub now, and how you could see ways that pieces could start to fit into some of these spots as we all grow in our learning and understanding of using the SDKs. And I think that'd be really cool. So we'll get that started up, and we'll share those links out over the weekend or on Monday. But that'll be awesome. The AI commit stuff could be really cool. There's a lot of application for it right now. So we'll see where it goes. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, Sophia, that's a really good point. There's a little Twitter space going on tomorrow. Shivay, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I think it's not a little Twitter space. It's something pretty big. They are like really I think like for me Eddie and probably Arindam, I'm not sure if you are comfortable coming up, but would love for you to speak. I'm not sure if Sophia is I see like she's having some kind of network issue, but there's going to be pretty good Twitter space happening tomorrow. Oh
Uh,
yeah, I think Sophia is.
oh, all right. Yeah. I can talk. Hi, everyone. So, tomorrow we are having a little, well, I would not say little, but we're having a Twitter space about open source. So, this was brought up thanks to a question asked by Aaron Dan on the open source community. So come join, come learn about open source, come learn from experts because I am still learning. And it's tomorrow by 9:30 EST. I cannot remember the exact time at IST time zone. So come learn, come ask your question. We have amazing speakers like Eddie, Francesco, Jordan, and Neha Gupta from the co-founder of Chloe. So come, yeah.
Nice. Do you want to share a link to you said she's the co-founder of I'm sorry, you say what was it? Did I freeze?
I think it's was it friend or Eddie? Who was it?
Yeah.
Or
That's what it is.
Neha Kaploy, yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Kiploid.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks. Nice. Thanks, Sophia. Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, we have that Twitter space going on tomorrow. And so be there. It's just going to be more of a chat with experts, like Sophia said, just kind of sitting around fireside talk. And should be pretty cool. So with that being said, if there's any more questions, feel free to share them in the chat. We're going to try and get a little type form out for post questions too. If anyone comes up with anything else that they're thinking about or just wants to share, we'll start to get some more type forms out then and get one out ahead of time for the next meeting, probably on Monday, the Monday before the Saturday, of each meetup. That way people can submit questions all week as they're starting to think about things before the meet. But yeah, thanks everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys in Discord whenever you would like. See you guys soon. Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for coming, Raj. Thanks for coming, Aradam. And Sean. And Pablo Shikon. Thanks for coming, Pablo. James, thanks for stopping by, man. It's good to see you. 115412, thanks for coming. JB, I see you in the crowd. Mac, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you being in the chat. You're the best. Happy coding, bro. You guys, everyone, have a good day.